Welcome to another episode of It's All Mental Podcast. My name is Asiat, and today's topic, it's very dear to us, and we have seen most of the times some of us have these challenges, but we never know what is really happening with us. But today we have a guest with us who's going to be able to dive so much into this topic so that whoever is facing this kind of challenge, or even if you don't know, because knowledge is power, you can get to understand what could be happening to the people around you so that you can be able to support them in various ways. And with me today in this episode, I have Ivan. Ivan is going to tell us more about himself as he introduces himself to you guys. I think it's going to be a very good conversation because we are going to talk about infertility.
Okay, thank you, Asiat, for having me. I'm excited to be here today to talk about infertility and mental health. My name is Ivan Muwanguzi. I am a clinical psychologist. And recently I've developed an interest in fertility psychology.
Okay.
And so I'm doing research in fertility psychology, hence the topic today, fertility and mental health. Yeah, thank you for having me.
We are so glad to have you. So to someone out there who is hearing this for the first time, what does infertility mean?
Thank you. That's an awesome question. Because many people talk about infertility, but So infertility, simply put, is a situation where a couple or an individual is unable to conceive or to have children, even after they have been trying for at least 12 months. So essentially speaking, we're saying that if a couple has been trying, and by trying we are talking about having regular sexual intercourse, and they're unable to conceive, or to have children for after a period of 12 months, that is what is classified as infertility. So
if someone is trying for a full year, and no result of getting pregnant,
a full year or more, and they're unable to conceive, then that is infertility. Yes.
Earlier on in our conversation, you talked about the different types, and I did know about that. So to someone who's watching us today, could you be able to tell us the infertility, in what instance does it happen, and how can I know that I'm not, able to conceive?
Okay, so infertility, there's primary infertility and secondary infertility. Primary infertility is a situation where, you're a couple, you're an individual, you have not had a child before, and you're trying to have children, and you're unable to, despite your best effort, no child completely. And then secondary infertility is a situation where you have had a child before, maybe two, maybe one, and you get to a place and you have the desire to have more children. But again, despite your best efforts too, you're unable to have these children naturally, so to speak. So infertility can affect you, or can come for you, for lack of
a better word.
Yes, even after having children, it can still come for you. So infertility is a very, very big problem, very, very, very big reproductive problem. And we can see that in Uganda, people are saying that it's on the rise. We are seeing statistics are showing, the statistics are a bit scanty, but the little that we have is showing us that up to about 10 to 15% of the couples in Uganda struggle with some form of infertility. They struggle to have children. And we see about 5 million individuals struggle to have children as well. And this is for both men and women. There is a general tendency to think that women are the ones that are struggling with infertility, and men are usually okay. That's not true. Research is showing that 50% of the time, it is the male factor that is responsible for the infertility in the couple.
Oh.
Yes, so we need to be very, very aware. So it can be the man or
the woman.
And the desire to have a child and being unable to, and it can come with very serious mental health
related issues.
Yes, challenges, yes.
Okay, back to what you have said. Now that you've said that men and women.
Yeah.
You've talked about earlier on in our conversation, you said that there is that percentage that at least in every 6 people that you see, one person is
So
challenged.
The WHO, actually, if you look at stats from the WHO, says 1 in every 6 people. Yeah, you find that of every 6 people, 1 of them has dealt or is dealing with some form of infertility.
Okay, so that is a big percentage.
So you can see it's a big problem that we're talking about. If you look at the global stats, it's about 186 million people all over the world are struggling with infertility, and about 46 million couples. Yeah, so it's quite a big problem.
It is.
And the other interesting thing, so people tend to think that in Uganda we don't have, it's hard for them to believe that infertility is actually a big problem here. The fun fact, this is not really a fun fact, but research is actually showing us that Uganda lies in something that they have categorized as the African infertility belt. So it's an imaginary belt stretching from Tanzania all the way to the Gabon. And in that geographical belt, again, imaginary, the statistics or the levels or the rates of infertility there are way higher than the global average. The global average of infertility is at 12%, thereabout. But in these regions, from Tanzania to the Gabon, the African infertility
all those
belt,
countries there.
Those countries, the rates of infertility can go anywhere up to 35%.
So it is that high?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. It's such an interesting information that you've given us today, Ivan, I can imagine, to someone who is watching us right now. So also in that regard, I would want to find out from you, Ivan.
Yeah.
Right now we are talking about mental health, and there are various things that we could go on about infertility and mental health. To you, what are some of the things, because culturally we know that everyone, when you reach that age of reproduction, they expect you to be able to give birth. Now, to someone who also knows that I'm going to be able to, when I reach that age, I'm going to be able to give birth, I'm going to have my children, but now they are unable to get to that point. What are some of the mental health related challenges that these individuals, be it couples, be it individuals, what are some of those mental health challenges that they get to face?
Interesting question, the way you have brought it up. So just to reiterate, there is a tendency to think that fertility is automatic.
Yes.
So the way we are raised generally is like, okay, you're a kid, you grow up, primary school, secondary school, maybe go to university, you're done, perhaps you're married. I automatically think that I will have children. So
the next thing in line.
And then you realize after 4 years that nothing is happening, not even a pregnancy scare. So that in itself can cause you to feel very sad, to feel very lonely. Part of what brings mental health struggles for people that are dealing with infertility is the social stigma that comes with it. So there is a general expectation to have children. It's as if you signed a social contract, a silent contract with the society that once I make age 20 and I am married, I am going to have children. And now you're here as an adult and you're failing on your contract. You are in breach of contract. And so society is trying to explain you, to define you. They gossip about you. They make insinuations about you. They basically it's as if someone is attempting to go into your reproductive system to make sense of it. Because you're out of the norm. You are breaching the contract, so to speak. Now, that can be very, very frustrating also for you as an individual, because then you start to even internalize those experiences. It starts to chip away at your identity as a woman, as a man. Way before even you become a woman, a fully grown woman, you know that you're going to be a mother one day. You play with dolls and you take on the role of a mother. So in a way you have crafted this identity of being a mom. And this situation of not having a child is coming in and it is totally destroying that identity. And so you're in an identity crisis. You don't know who you are. You feel like you're not woman enough. You feel like you're not man enough. Yeah, that can lead to serious depressive symptoms, feelings of hopelessness, worthlessness, feeling like you have lost interest, even in the things that you found fun before. They are not fun for you because you are unable to have children.
And most of the times others feel like they are a failure.
Yes, you feel like a failure. And you see, this disease is very, very, very difficult. So it's a thing of where you constantly hope that you're going to conceive. Yeah, I mean, you're having the sex. Yeah. And then month after month, your period comes. Yeah. So month after month, you're building hope. Month after month, you're getting disappointment. So that cycle of hope and despair. Yeah. There is a loneliness that comes with infertility. Many people have children, so they will not understand what you're going through. It may be very difficult to explain in words because it's not your fault, but the people around you may not understand that. Infertility could also have an impact on your marriage, your relationship with your partner. Yeah, we have seen people who are getting divorced, communication totally breaks down. Some people start to go outside of the relationship to test the waters out there to see if they can have children. Yeah. Now, the sad part again is that when infertility happens, most of the time it is the woman who will carry the burden. You will start to notice that mostly it's a woman who will go seek out a guy and say, something could be wrong, but the husband is not doing anything, or the man is not doing a thing.
And he's saying that for him, he's safe.
Yes.
Me, I'm okay.
I'm okay. Yeah. But remember again, 50% of the time, it is the man. Yeah. And there are many factors that could have led to the man not being able to have children. But the point I'm trying to make is that if you are seeking help for fertility or infertility, then it has to be a couple. You go together. Yeah.
It's very paramount. Okay, in that regard, because you've talked about the aspect of men being the factor. So for people who are, there is that part when people get into marriage.
Yeah.
Do you think there are things that people have neglected not to go for these kinds of checkups to be able to know, how is my fertility rate? How can which kind of things do you think people should prepare in advance in order as they're preparing to, because you've talked about families breaking.
Yes.
Because they didn't know the other partner in that regard. Yeah. So do you think we have been in position to ignore these kinds of things in this regard, and we have to, bring them on board?
Yeah, thank you. Again, from what we said earlier, there is that general expectation that fertility is automatic. Our God-given right to be fertile and multiply. Yeah. So people don't typically think about it. Even when they are getting married, they don't think about it. But I think, in my opinion, I think it's very, very important before you commit for you to go and run some of these tests. If you're a man out there, you want to go and get a semen analysis done just to check and see if the guys can swim really well. If you're a lady, you want to go and have, a checkout. Do you know that there are women out there that have never seen a guy, that they only see a guy when they are pregnant? Yes. Yeah. So I think that a profile of your fertility needs to happen. And that way, as a couple, you are aware of, okay, I think we are good, or maybe something is happening for the wife or the husband. Is it something that we can do something about? Because some of the causes of infertility or some of the situations of infertility can be easy to rectify. Yeah. So you want to look into that and be sure that the person I'm going with actually can be able to. And if they are unable to, then we have these solutions that we can think about. Yes. Yeah. So I think it's important, and I think we are not thinking about it enough before we commit to relationships, because people typically go into marriages and the only thing they can agree on is that we both want children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ivan, to that regard, you've talked about the research that you've been doing,
Yes.
because you said you're a clinical psychologist.
Yes.
But now we are talking about infertility. You can imagine. So in the research that you've been doing, I think you have been in position to engage with most of these people who are having these kinds of challenges.
Yes.
Could you share with us the before, the after, and everything that happens when people get to realize that now that I am infertile, this is what I'm going to be able to do, the after.
Yeah, the research is quite interesting. So we figured, because we wanted to examine the experience of doing in vitro fertilization, IVF, here in Kampala, because we noticed there is a gap generally. People are not researching enough about IVF treatment, fertility or infertility, so to speak. But we thought, we need to understand what happens before people do IVF, what happens during IVF, what happens after IVF. And we are looking at these experiences from a psychological standpoint, not a medical standpoint.
Yes.
Yeah. Infertility and IVF treatment are medical, so to speak, but they come with psychological bearings or implications. So that's the angle we were going for. So in the participants that we had, you could clearly see, again, it starts from that place of, I have a partner or I'm ready to have children. And I thought it was going to happen. It's not happening. Yeah. And so sometimes okay, let us wait for a bit. Yeah, it will happen. Yeah. Maybe we're not trying enough, so you try enough. But then you start to realize that, okay, I have been married for 1 year now, and I have not even had a positive pregnancy test. What could be happening? So you start with the awareness, the realization that something is perhaps wrong. Yeah. And what people typically do then, they go out to do tests with different gynecologists. So a friend will refer you, my gyne is awesome. My gyne helped me have this child. They did my C-section. They delivered my baby. Go and see him. And so you go and see that one. And they tell you, this could be the issue. You take these supplements and you take the supplements and still you're unable to get pregnant. And then you get another referral and another one and another one and another one. All the time, you're moving very many years into your marriage and you're trying to have children. We saw that people also try the herbs, very many herbs. People will tell you, I tried the yellow jerry cans with the green medicine, with the yellow medicine, with so many concoctions. Nothing happened. Yeah. Then that goes away. Some of them will say, I think this is traditional, especially your family. We'll try to explain it.
It could be in your background.
In traditional forms. So it's a situation where we had a couple who hadn't finished their dowry obligation and say, you didn't complete your bride price obligation. So can you work on that? Yeah. And perhaps the gods will be appeased for you now to have children. All that was done and nothing happened. Yeah, no children. And so it's a situation where people realize something is wrong. Then they walk a journey of trying so many things and they're all not working. And then, sadly, with all that, no one is actually pointing them to a fertility specialist. They are not actually seeing a fertility specialist. Yeah. So it's a thing. You find a person, they have had so many diagnoses. Yeah. So many diagnoses, some of which are the people they go to are even quacks. Yeah. Someone say, it is malaria that is stopping you from having children. Or you don't have a uterus. And then the next guy is like, but you have a uterus. Yeah. So it's that journey. Until then, you get maybe a referral, maybe you see a news bulletin, maybe whatever, and you say, fertility specialist, and then you go. And with the fertility specialist, then you get the right kind of tests that you need for the condition that you're going through, and then they will figure out what's going on. Yeah.
Okay.
And from that, then the doctors can be able to make suggestions of the treatments that you can do, part of which is in vitro fertilization, IVF.
IVF.
Yes.
So you've talked about that incidence of now they've talked about this IVF, and there are very many things that you see people getting involved in this because now it's the
Yes.
solution. They've
Yeah.
now got that hope.
Yes.
In regards to that, what are the rates of success where
Alright.
you've seen that people have gotten into this, and are there psychological aspects that are involved with the success rates of the IVF being able to work?
Okay, thank you. So first, what is IVF?
Yes.
So I will explain it very simply because a fertility specialist will use their terms, but me, I'll explain it very, very simply. So essentially speaking, for people that are struggling to have children, there's this form of treatment called IVF, in vitro fertilization, where essentially they harvest an egg from the woman and also get a sperm sample from the man, and then take those two at a laboratory, and then they're able to fuse them together, for them to be able now to get an embryo. So fertilization essentially happens outside of the
body,
of because it typically happens in the ducts, in the tubes. But now, because it is not happening naturally, so the doctors facilitate the process outside of the body. And once the embryos have been formed, and they check for viability, and then they plant the embryos back into the uterus now and wait for implantation to happen, so that then you can carry a child to term. So that is IVF. And IVF actually works. That's a fact. However, it also comes with psychological implications. And before I get into those, you asked about the success rates. Now, the success rates vary according to age. Depending on the age of the woman mostly. You will see that the success rates from women about 35 years of age, the success rates are around 40 to 50%. So it's also not 100%. And those rates go down as the woman further advances in age. So by the time they're like 50, they're like at a 10% chance. So it keeps going down as the woman keeps on aging. That's
a toll. That's a very big toll now.
So you can already see that's also, it has by the time when you're doing IVF, you're taking a gamble. You're just gambling with your
probabilities.
Yes. Say, okay, let me try. Maybe it will work or not. But we need to understand, by the time a couple decides to do IVF, they have tried everything and it's not working. And this is their last hope. They have walked a very difficult emotional journey, a very difficult social journey. If you talk to men that have been diagnosed with infertility, they are very unhappy. They are very, very sad. They have very serious self-esteem issues.
Because it's affecting their masculinity.
Yes, it's a real jab onto it's something that's it's almost as if you're telling this man you're not man enough. So it can be very, very, very difficult on them. So this is their last resort. But it also is not that simple. One, the financial. IVF costs a bit of money.
On average, how much does someone have to invest?
So on average, we are finding it costs about 22 million a cycle. A cycle. So you can have multiple cycles. So you can do a cycle of IVF and it doesn't work. And all that money is gone. And so you have to pay more money to start
another cycle.
So some people will say, I had children after 3 cycles, or after 2. Again, it's not 100%. You may get lucky at cycle 2 or get lucky at cycle 1, but you have to pay for that. So some people would want to have children, and when we are saying 20 million, do you know how much an average Ugandan earns? 20 million is actually a lot of money. And we are saying average. Yes. It's a lot of money.
I can imagine.
So people have to take loans. Yeah.
In order to finance.
Yes, to finance. So you find someone telling you, I had to take out a loan of 40 million, 70 million to be able to do IVF. Yeah. Loans that by the time we did research, someone is telling, oh, even after 4 years, I'm still paying for the loan. Yes, I have my child, but I'm still
paying for the loan.
Yes, I'm still paying, financing that loan. Yeah. People sell their land, people sell their homes, people sell their cars.
To be able to go through the process.
Yes. And remember, it's the kind of journey where you will not go to Asia and say, oh, Asia, I'm struggling, I want to try IVF, because it's often a silent journey. So you carry it by yourself because there is that internalizing. You don't want to talk about
the stigma itself, that you
stigma.
cannot be able to do
Yes, you don't. So if it's a man, he's dealing with this thing all by himself with his wife or partner. Yes. Yeah. So finding that money is very, very difficult. You're going to the hospital, doctor is saying, pay for this, pay for that, pay for this. It's very hard to find that money. But these people sacrifice everything to be able to, try at the chance to have a child. Yeah. IVF also comes with psychological implications. Sometimes the kind of tests that they do. I had a participant who said that they were running these tests and she was on her period. And she said, that is so humiliating. I have this man and he's down there and doing all these sorts of tests. And I'm on my period. Yeah. So humiliating. Yeah. But then I stuck around because I really wanted to have a child.
I wanted this.
Yes. I really needed to have a child. Yeah. In treatment, women are given hormones. And you'll notice that while infertility can affect both men and women, you will find that in the treatment for IVF, it's mostly the woman that carries the burden of the treatment, because most of the procedures will be done on the woman. The poking, the prodding will be done on the woman most of the time. The hormones, it is the woman that has to inject herself with hormones every day. Imagine a situation where you get an injection every day and you do it to yourself. Yeah. Psychologically, that can be it can mess you up.
It can.
Yeah. You're causing pain to yourself every day, but you're saying, I need to have children. And these hormones sometimes also affect people. Studies show that they have a direct effect on mood. Yeah.
They always have a low mood.
Yeah, on mood. So picture a situation if it's a person who is a woman has been trying to have a child and she already has symptoms for depression.
Yes.
The hormones can worsen the depression. Yeah. But also the mere fact that you're getting these injections, all these tests, all these procedures, you're trying to find money, can bring about a lot of anxiety, stress. Yeah.
The anxiety also comes in.
Remember,
especially.
We said 40%. You're saying I'm doing those things, but I'm so anxious. I don't know if it will work. I really need this to work, but I have no guarantee that it is going to work, and yet I have risked so much to be able to do
this money, the time.
Yes. Yeah. So, and even those hormones, sometimes there's something called OHSS, where ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, where now the hormones are supposed to stimulate the ovaries to produce eggs. Now they are overstimulated. Yeah, and it can be very painful. Yeah, very, very painful for these women. But even the procedure to rectify that is very painful. So it's a journey of I'm trying, but all these things are painful physically, psychologically, or emotionally. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of struggle. Yeah, but these mothers and fathers brave these challenges because they want to be parents.
Okay.
Yeah. All the while, there's women in the research that say while they were doing IVF, it's like they had tunnel vision. All they could think of was IVF. I need to have a baby. And what does that mean? You neglect your partner, your husband emotionally. And also there's a period of time during the treatment when you're not allowed to have sex. Yeah, that can have implications on a relationship. So for many, by the time they finished the process and had children, more like for some, they had challenges. There was a strain on their relationship. Yeah.
And I remember we are looking into getting this child as a couple, but now already by the time the child comes, perhaps it's successful, and now already there is a strain.
And I remember in the beginning, Dr. Sally was asking me, this research is wonderful, because there's something I'm curious about. I have been supporting couples and individuals to have children through IVF since 2004. But I have noticed that sometimes you work so hard to have these children, and then by the time the mother comes back for the immunization thing for the children, it's like they are not together with the husband anymore. They have separated. And some of them have even divorced. Yeah, by the time the first year of the child, there was a divorce. So I need to understand, like, so the thing is that we have noticed is that infertility, the hooks of infertility start from even before you start doing IVF treatment. You are struggling, there is a loneliness. So people are married together, but the woman is suffering alone in her bedroom and crying by herself, not telling her, I'm actually in pain. The man is also trying to deal with the infertility by himself. They are saying very hurtful things to each other, very mean.
It could be you, it is me, I think you did this.
Why? Yeah. And then they carry that all the way into treatment. In treatment, there is that emotional neglect, so to speak. So people are not connecting. There was a participant who said, my husband started to develop negative coping strategies like drinking, and she didn't even notice while she was walking the journey. So it only hit me after I had the child that, my husband is now drinking. He goes to the bar, and we are very religious at our home, but it had never really hit me that now he's drinking. So now, after that child comes, the problems that you had in your relationships will not magically disappear. But also some people noticed those problems, and for them they were thinking, let me have this child. When I have the child, everything is going to be okay, because it seemed like the absence of the child
was the problem.
Yes. Then the child came and the problems continued. Yeah. It lingered all the way to the end. And then for some, they separated. For some, they stayed together. However, we also see that for many, the relationship was made stronger. Yeah. Okay. The husband is very happy that they have this child, or twins, or triplets, or whatever. So the relationship is more stronger. But there are people who have a strain on their relationship as a result of this journey. So you can see all these emotional and psychological problems that come with infertility and the treatment of it.
Yes, Ivan, in another conversation we had, there was something that you mentioned about, because to the people who are viewing us, this conversation was had in a certain conference where Ivan was presenting more about this part about infertility, and it got me thinking that each and every person who is here may want to listen to this kind of conversation.
Yes.
And now, Ivan, to someone who's watching us right now, there are things that you've said that there are parts that come in the after part of I am successful right now. Talk about the relationship and the emotions that come with now that the child is in play. How is that relationship between now the mother and the child, or the parents with this child, after all this struggle has come in play? What kind of emotions? Because you've said some people are still paying loans. Now this child is here, they're also demanding, and I'm paying this loan. Which kind of relationship have you seen parents have with these children that they've been able to have?
All these parents love their children a lot. Yes, that's a fact. And we see that after they finally have children, they are so happy. The moms describe feeling like this overwhelming feeling of joy, of even the things that other people that had children naturally find difficult, annoying. This mother is glad to be able to see them. And it's a thing of where she says, I come back from work, I am so exhausted, I am so tired. but I am so glad to be going through this with my child. I am so glad that my baby is crying for me in the night, despite my exhaustion. So there is that joy that comes with having these children. Now, my research didn't go as far as looking into the kind of relationship that they have with their child. That's something that we want to work on going forward, but we are also curious now. And we want to understand, and I guess that's the next phase of the research. Now that you have walked that journey, all those challenges and
the emotions,
we want to study that kind of relationships. So the relationship with the child. So I may not have a definite answer of the relationship. It's like this, like this, like this. Yeah, but it's a thing that we are working towards understanding.
And when you get there, we're also going to be excited to hear about that.
What's the relationship like? What's the bonding like? What's attachment like then for children that have been?
This has been quite a very interesting conversation, Ivan. And to the people who are listening to us, they would want you to have this conversation into a single statement. That what do you think are some of the things that we can do in order to find ourselves that our emotions are in check, or we can prepare ourselves for these kinds of situations? Because like you've said, we think that it's automatic for us to be parents when we reach that time, but when it does not happen, what can we do in these incidences? What are some of the things that people can put in place to do and be able to?
One, I think people need always to go and get checked out. If you haven't had children and you have a partner and you want to have children, go and get checked out. Make sure that everything is okay. If it's not okay, there are options that you could try to explore to make sure to help you have children, so to speak. Then lifestyle changes. So if you look at the causes of infertility, there is of course male factors including low sperm count, or so basically sperm quality and sperm quantity, or sometimes it's a tube or duct issue, so the man can't deposit the sperm where it needs to go. And then there's female factors, that's ovulatory factors or issues, tubal issues, or egg production issues sometimes. There's also something called age. Unfortunately for women, the older that a woman gets, the
harder it becomes.
The possibility of be dealing with infertility. But there's also lifestyle. Smoking, drinking alcohol, and other drugs can put you at risk for infertility. So what am I saying? If you haven't had children and you want to have children, you hope to have children in the future, you want to watch yourself. You want to watch yourself, the smoking, the drinking, what are you eating? If you're trying to have children, you can ask your gyne or fertility specialist or whatever about the kind of foods, the kind of diet that you could try to get a sperm boost to make sure that your reproductive system is working really, really well. Other things to keep healthy, physical exercise. So those are some of the things that you want to try, but you really want to be in close contact with a specialist or a doctor.
Okay, in that regard, thank you, Ivan, for this wonderful conversation. I believe anyone who is watching us has benefited a lot from this information because it has been so educative.
Just to add one thing is, if you are also walking the journey of infertility, it's also important for you to seek psychological support. Many people that are walking this journey walk without any form of psychological support. Nothing whatsoever. So it's important. Seek the support. It is available. Speak to a professional. And while the doctors are doing their thing and trying to help you to be a mom, to be a dad, you're also working with a mental health professional to help you
with the emotional part.
Yes, with the emotional part, to manage the effects of infertility, the fertility treatments. Because we are seeing that if your mental health is not good, then it also reduces the success rate of the fertility treatment. So your mental health needs to be in check. Very important.
Yes, to everyone who is watching us as we are coming to the close of our episode today, I believe you have learned a lot from Ivan. And if there are conversations like this that you feel like we could be in position to bring out to you, you can list them down in the comment section. And the last regards that we want to leave to you, someone who's watching, remember we are talking about mental health related issues, and these are some of the factors that Ivan has been able to bring to us today, to know what are some of the aspects that are about infertility that could bring us mental health related issues. And as you are seeking for support, kindly seek for mental health support, because mental health is part of health. Therefore, if you are not healthy in terms of your mental health, you may not be able to get to adjust from that part of the infertility. Thank you for listening to us. I hope we are going to be able to see you in other episodes. Don't forget to subscribe and listen in, share, post, repost, and we are going to be able to have all these conversations coming to you every now and then. I've been your host, Asiat, and this is It's All Mental Podcast. See you in the next episode. Bye.